Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, like you guys already seen from the title and thumbnail, I am attempting to recreate some of the pieces from my first collection. If you do not know, last year around September, October, November, not even sure anymore, I did launch my first ever collection because I've been crocheting for a long time, and ever since I started crocheting, I've never really just sat down and make an entire collection, like different pieces together. So last year before my birthday, I wanted to just see what it feels like to make a collection, so I did end up making a collection. I'm gonna insert some pictures and some videos of that collection. It was so fun, it was so nice, and then the process itself was really nice, and I'm hoping to do that again this year. I'm actually hoping to do that every year whenever my birthday is getting close, maybe September. But I think I started the planning around August, just because obviously it's an entire collection. But then around September, almost October, I felt a little bit, I don't know, you know when you want to do something, but then it gets to a point where I felt so anxious about the fact that I was going to do up a collection. And then for a while I was actually not posting anything, so I feel like all that just added up to all the anxious I was feeling. The feelings were just all over the place. It was anyway, it was too much. But ever since the collection, I've been wanting to create a written pattern or even a tutorial for these pieces, because again, while I was working on the pieces, I did not have time to just write everything I was doing down or even film a video for it, because I was just like entirely focused on working on these different pieces. But I've decided to just get into each and every pieces and then make a video. I'm going to make a tutorial as well as a pattern for these pieces. So if you want the written pattern, it's going to be in my Etsy store, but then as well I'm going to make a tutorial for you guys. So the first piece that I'm going to actually create is actually this piece, which I love. This is actually, I don't want to say it's my favorite because there was another one that I was obsessed with, but I feel like this was everyone's favorite at one point, because the comments and everything that was coming in made it seem like this was everyone's favorite. So I'm going to start with this one. It's going to be a set, obviously, like you guys see, it's a set. So we're going to start with the top first, and then we're going to go into the skirt, because if I'm going to make this again, I definitely need the skirt to go with it. I cannot just make the top and leave the skirt. So I'm definitely going to film another skirt. The skirt looks simple, but this is a must have. Like the one I have is in white, and I'll style it in so many different ways. And the one I'm going to make this time around is going to be in black or in gray. I haven't decided on what I'm going to use yet, but this is the piece. I personally did not go yarn shopping for this video because I just felt like I could find something that was gonna be enough. However, feel like I might probably have to go yarn shopping for the skirt, but when it comes to the top, I really just wanted to use what I have at the moment. But I'm going to, at the end of the video, I'm gonna let you guys know how many grams of yarn that I used, this amount, so when you're going yarn shopping, in case you decide to, then you have an idea of how much you'd need. These are the 3 different yarns that I'm going to use. Again, like I mentioned, I am not using the same color that I used from the main design, and the reason is because I don't think I would want to have the same piece in the same color. It's just too boring. So I just chose these 3 colors because I think they definitely just make so much sense together. And again, you guys can see from the first the original design, those colors actually just come together and blend well. So I think you can just go ahead and choose whatever color that blends so well together, 3 colors. And I think this is optional. You don't have to use 3 colors, but the 3 colors definitely make so much sense, because if you use one, it would be boring, very boring. So find 3 colors that just make so much sense, and then they blend together perfectly, and something that you can actually wear outside and style. If you want to go for bright colors as well, do that. I'm not a fan of bright colors these days. I've just been liking nude, dark colors. Those are just my style. But if you want to go for bright colors, you can definitely do that. For the size hook, I'm going to use a 2.5 for the entire tutorial. This is what we're using. We're also going to need some elastic band and then some scissors, of course. We're going to need some scissors. You're going to need a scissors, and then you're going to need an elastic band, and then you're also going to need some measurement tape, which I'm going to show you guys the measurements that we'll be needing for this tutorial today. I'm excited. So when it comes to measurement, you're going to, firstly, I already have like an entire video. My last video was like a measurement based video, so you can go back and check that one if you need like a detail. This is just going to be for this top. So you're going to need a length again, because this is off the shoulder top. You're going to make sure that you keep in mind that you have no business from here upwards. There's no business there. Your business is from this side downwards. We're only going to use this side of the body. So you're going to grab your measurement tape, and the first measurement you're going to need is going to be your full length, and that is basically how long you want the top to be. Like you guys seen from the title, from the thumbnail, you can see that I wanted mine to be a little bit down below my hips, because there is an opening on the side. So when it comes down a little bit, your hips are going to be outside, and that was the design and that was the goal. So mine is a little bit long compared to, if you don't want yours to be, again, what am I saying, mine is long. If you don't want yours to be, you can also just adjust the length. So you're going to just make sure you start where your armpit area is. Right there, you're going to grab your measurement tape, and again, like I always say, you make sure you move your measurement tape to the top, to the front, and to the front side of your bust, and then you're just going to adjust this and take the length. And then again, the length obviously stops where you want yours to be, and I think mine is a total of 20 inches, and again, that's the length I am going for. You don't have to go for this. And the next measurement you're going to need is going to be from your armpit area down until where you want the opening to be. Again, you guys can see that there's an opening on the side, but then of course, if you make your opening too short, this side is going to be open. So you want to make sure that you take the length of how you want your opening to be. So you're going to take your measurement tape again, make sure you just the same way you're taking like a full length measurement, but then this time around you're just going to, I want mine to be right under my bust. So right few inches out under my bust, that's where I want my opening to be. So that means from this side down to the rest of the top, there's going to be an opening. So that's the other measurement you'll be needing. The other measurement you'll be needing is basically your sleeve length, and because it's an off the shoulder top, you're not going to start from this side. You're basically going to start right from this end. So you're just going to make sure your arm is basically flat on your body, and then from here you're going to take your measurement from there all the way to whatever sleeve length that you're going for. And then the other measurement you're basically going to need, the last measurement, is going to be how wide your arm is, and that is going to be the last measurement for this. So it's super simple. If you guys want like a detailed video as well for measurement, like I said, I already have a video down in my channel. I'll link it somewhere around so you guys can check that out. So let's get right into the main pattern of the panel of the top, because so when it comes to choosing the specific color that you need to start with, there is no method. You're just going to choose whatever you want to choose, and you're basically going to switch in between the colors. When you have the first color done, the second color, and then the third color, you're going to go back to the first. So there is really no way you can actually choose your colors except you decide to go for another color pattern besides the one that I'm going for. But if you decide to go for the one that I'm going for, you don't have to go back and forth with the colors. You can just switch and choose one for the first panel, and then you're going to go back and forth and switch between those three colors. So again, like I said, we're working based on measurements. So I'm going to go ahead, and this panel is being worked in two different panels, by the way. So you're going to divide your bust measurement, but then for the first part, we're going to need your top length. Again, from the measurement, you're just going to make a slip knot, and then right from there, you're going to make a chain that is as long as your desired top length. My desired top length is 20 inches, so I'm going to chain a total of 110 inches, which is equivalent to 20 inches. But this is going to be different for everyone depending on the length you're going for. So after my 110 chain, I'm gonna go into the second chain from the hook with after double crochet. Again, the entire pattern is made out of after double crochet stitch. We're just gonna use slip stitch and single crochet to attach to both sides, and then attach the elastic band, but the rest of it is just made up of after double crochet stitches. So I'm going to yarn over and go into the second hook from the second chain from the hook with the after double crochet. On, I'm going to repeat one after double crochet until I get to the very end of the row. So basically at the end of the row, I should have 109 after double crochet stitches, because I did not chain an extra one for turning chain, just because I did not feel like an extra one was going to reduce the length. So I'm just going to repeat one after double crochet into every stitch, making sure I do one and not more than one into each chain, and then I will see you guys at the very end where we can get started with the next row. So right here I have my first row complete. We are going to go ahead and get started with row 2, and to do that I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and this time around we're going to work in the back loop of the after double crochet we did from the previous row, but then we're still doing the same after double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, and then into this first after double crochet you're going to go with an after double crochet but in the back loop, and these are the back loops of the stitch. So you have like the front loop which you usually would go into, but then you're going to go into the back loop so we can have the stretch that we want to the top, right? So I'm going to repeat 1 after double crochet into the back loop until I get to the very end of the row, and at the end I'm going to chain 1 and repeat that for a total of 4 more rows. So at the end of the day I should have a total of 6. So I'm going to get my 6 rows of after double crochet complete, and I'm going to come back and show you guys what the next step is. So right here I have my 6 rows of after double crochet complete. I'm going to go ahead and grab the second yarn, and then I'm going to go ahead and start the next part. So you're going to grab your second yarn, and then what I usually do is I'm just going to cut off this because we're going to go into the second color. And then from here I just finished my last after double crochet in that row. I'm going to grab the second yarn, and then I'm going to go ahead and yarn over. So this basically just chains 1 at the end, and then from here I'm just going to turn this over. So I'm going to grab the gray because again this last row is a gray row, and I'm just going to grab this gray, and then I pass this right underneath because I want to go over the gray yarn with the after double crochet, so at the end of the day I don't have to go in and sew in the loose ends. I'm still going to have the black one back, but I'll do that later on. So I'm just going to go into this first after double crochet again in the back loop. You want to make sure you're still going into the back loop, and then I usually just go underneath this gray yarn, and then I'm going to pull, and then I yarn over and pull through again and repeat 1 after double crochet until I get to the very end of the row, making sure I'm doing it underneath the gray yarn because I just want to sew this thing as I go. So at the end of the day I just have to cut off the excess yarn. So I'm just going to repeat 1 after double crochet, and I just do that for a few rows, and then afterwards then I can cut this because I know for sure that the yarn is secure. So I'm just going to cut this. I still have the black yarn, but I'm going to actually do the same thing to that when we're coming backwards. So I'm just going to repeat 1 after double crochet until I get to the very end, and when I get to the end I'm going to chain 1 and repeat 1 of double crochet up, and I'm going to repeat this for a total of 6 rows. And then after the 6 rows I'm going to switch to my third color and final color, and I'm going to repeat that for another 6 rows. So this is basically what the pattern is about. You're going to repeat that until you have a panel that is the half of your bust measurement. This is the front panel. The front and the back panel are exactly the same. So now, like I mentioned earlier, we are going to attach the sleeve, work on the sleeve. We're not working on the sleeve separately. I don't even know how to explain it, but the sleeve are basically worked in the panel. So you can see that I have a total of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 6 times 7 36 42. I have a total of 42 rows. This should be about 20 inches because again when I divided my measurement it's 13, but because this is very stretchy you can see that it stretches all the way to 20 inches. So if you're making a size small, then obviously you don't have to have this amount of rows, and obviously if you're making a size bigger you probably need more of the rows. But you guys can see that because I needed 6 set of rows, you can see that I ended up with gray and I started with gray. But if you're making a size smaller you might probably end up with another color at the end instead of the same color, but I don't think that really matters because when it comes to the sleeve you're also going to switch back and forth with the color. So right here, because I have gray, when I'm going to start working on my sleeve I'm going to start with black because the color that came before gray is this green color. So that means the black is going to be my next color on the side, and then on this opposite side, because my next color is going to be green instead, because after gray I have black. So you're basically going to just switch the colors and look at the way your pattern looks at the moment. that's how you're going to determine how your colors are going to be. When it comes to the sleeve, like I mentioned, I'm going to cut off this gray yarn because I'm going to switch to my black yarn in this part of the panel. Obviously, if you're going to start on the opposite panel, you might probably need to switch to another color, but maybe I should start this row so you guys can see clearly, because the black yarn might be a little bit difficult. So I'm going to start on this row, which means I'm going to switch to the green, sorry. So I'm going to switch to this yarn instead of the black so you guys can actually see what I'm about to do. Just the same way that you would still start your row, you're going to grab your yarn and your 2.5 in this case, and you're going to, because this is the start, so because this is the start of the panel, you can see that this is just the extra chain that I had at the beginning of the row. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and attach the new yarn with a slip knot. So after attaching the yarn with a slip knot, you're going to go ahead and chain 1, and you're going to work your way into the next 52 half double crochet stitches. And again, because this is the start of the panel, you might find it a little bit difficult to find your stitches, but I'm just going to suggest you find a stitch marker, or you just count your stitches properly. So you're going to chain 1, and then you're just going to repeat 1 half double crochet into that first stitch, and then you're going to of course go into the next 51 stitches with 1 half double crochet, and that's what you're going to do until you get to the very end. After your total of 51 rows, you're going to now go ahead and make a long chain. So this chain depends on how long you want your sleeve to be. So basically you're going to take your exact sleeve measurement, and then from there you're going to take the measurement from here, and then whatever number you get, you're going to subtract for your sleeve measurement. So for example, your sleeve measurement is probably 24, so you're going to go ahead, this should be about 9 to 10 inches. Please ignore the fact that my measurement tape looks like this, but you can see that this is about 10 inches. So in case, so if your measurements, your exact sleeve measurement is about 24, which means now you need to do a chain that is 14 inches long, because you already have the 10 subtracted from the exact measurement. So you're basically going to make a long chain. I made a total of 190 chains, 95 chains, sorry. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a total of 95 chains. So right here I have my 95 chains. You can see that the chain is still attached to the panel itself. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to just come back, making sure that the chain is very straight, and I'm just going to come back into the chain with half double crochet. So again, you're going to go ahead, yarn over and go into the second chain from the hook with the half double crochet, and you're going to repeat 1 half double crochet until you get to the very end. And then obviously when you get to the point, I mean like the very end is basically right at the very beginning of the row, and then you're going to chain 1 and repeat this for a total of 5 rows. You have to keep in mind that we're doing 6 rows per each color, so this first row is going to be counted. So you basically need to do 5 more rows of the green, and you're going to switch back to the different other colors until you have this one part wide enough, not wide enough for your exact sleeve, but when you take your sleeve measurement, for example yours is 12, you're going to divide that by 2, which is going to give you 6, and then you're going to make this part of the panel 6 inches wide. And of course you're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side. So I'm going to get that done, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the final thing looks like. Right here I have the final piece. You can see that we have the one side and then the opposite side as well. I also did 3 rows of each, so this was wide enough for my arm, but if you want to make this wider, obviously you have to do more rows. If you want it to be smaller, of course you have to do more rows. But you can see that the both sides are actually attached. That means I have my sleeve attached, one side of the panel is attached. So you're going to repeat the same exact process for your opposite panel. So I'm gonna get mine done, and then we'll come back in and attach everything together. Guys, so it's another day. I already have my front and my back panel complete. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like now, because we actually need to attach everything together, attach the elastic band as well. So let me grab them so you guys can have an idea of what it looks like. So again, oh, the colors look so good. Again, like I mentioned, you're going to just repeat the same step for the opposite panel. You guys can see that I have 2 of these right here. Let me see if I can align these 2. Yeah, yes, so you can see that I have 2 complete. Actually, I'm so excited to get this thing done so I can start working on the skirt, because I have somewhere I want to wear this thing to, this piece to, on Thursday. So there's this comedy show. I've never been, well, I've been to a comedy show, but just once, and I've never been to a comedy show by myself. Well, I've not really been to any activities by myself, so the fact that I'm going by myself just makes me so excited. And of course I want to look cute and good, and it's something I made. It just makes so much sense. So I'm super excited to finish this so I can start working on the skirt, because it's actually Monday. So if I start working on the skirt today, I should be able to finish it by Thursday, so I can have the entire outfit complete, because I'm super excited. But yeah, let's go to the table so we can attach these 2 together. Super simple. So first we are going to align these 2, and for the attachment on the sides, you're just going to grab your yarn, attach these 2, and then you're going to single crochet or slip stitch, whatever you're doing, all the way to the very end, extreme end. And then afterwards you're going to attach your yarn right here, go all the way up, and then this is where you're going to again grab the measurement tape that I told you guys because of the opening. So if you're going to take the measurement right here. If this is the exact measurement that you want, and you want the rest of this part to be open, then you're just going to stop right there. But if this is short and you want it a little bit more longer or downwards because you don't want to show your boobs, then you're just going to continue and come a little bit down here, and then you stop right here because there's an opening. Obviously this is optional. If you want to close the entire top, then you can do that as well. And of course, whatever you repeat on this side, you're going to go ahead and repeat the same thing on the opposite side. So on the opposite side, you're going to grab your yarn and attach both ends in single crochet or slip stitch all the way to the very end. You're going to attach your yarn when you're done on this side of the sleeve, and you're going to come all the way up. And whatever you do, if you decide to come down a bit with the single crochet, then you do the same thing that you just did on the opposite side. So I'm going to do that because I don't want this video to be super long. It's basically easy. I already explained what you guys need to do, and I'm going to do that and come back because we need to fix the shoulder itself. So I'm going to get that done, and then I'll see you guys in a bit. We have the parts attached together, the 2 panels. So I'm going to put this on so I can see what we are actually working on with, because I haven't even turned it to the right side. Let's put this on. So obviously I look crazy because what the hell is this, but I just wanted to show you guys, and also just wanted to put this on so I can see before I do the final touching. Oh guys, I love the color. It looks so good against my skin. Ooh, this is what it looks like from the back. Ooh, I think ooh, this looks so good. It makes me feel like I'm making, I feel like the sleeves are a little bit too long, but I don't mind. But obviously you guys can definitely adjust it. So this is what you guys, we're going to need an elastic band for. You can see that the shoulders, the rest fits so well, but then the shoulders are still a bit crazy. So this is where an elastic band comes in very handy, because we're going to use an elastic band to snitch the shoulders. Like I was saying, this is where an elastic band comes in handy. So this is what I'm going to use. I'm using black obviously, but you don't have to, depending on the color you use. You can either use white or black. They come in white and black. and I think it's about this. So when it comes to elastic, you're going to just basically wrap this elastic around your body. So let me take this off, and then I'm going to wrap it. It's just so you have an idea of what the measurement is going to be like. You can also use your measurement tape to take the measurement, but I think using the elastic band works fine for me. So I'm just going to grab this and wrap it around my shoulders like this. It's actually in the stretch form, but you actually need to keep it there. Actually, what am I saying? Actually, but I'm just gonna stretch this around. You can see the back, super stretch, and then I make sure I can lift my hand. So I'm just gonna cut this amount so I can use it to attach on the sweater or the top. Because gray is basically the main color in what I'm going to use for the skirt, this is what I'm going to use to attach the elastic band. So whatever color you're going to use, if you decide to make this a set, you're just going to use that as your main color, and that's what you're going to use to attach the set, and also to use as the elastic band, to attach the elastic band. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a knot. Again, like I always say, if you're making this for someone, then I'll suggest you be professional enough and sew the ends of the elastic with a sewing machine or with a needle and thread. But because I'm making this for myself, I usually just make a knot to secure the two ends of the elastic band together. But of course you want to make sure the elastic band is straight, because I kind of made a mistake here. Now it's not even straight enough, but that's fine. So you're going to now decide where you want the front part of your sweater to be and where you want the back part to be. Because both of the sides are the same, you would have to decide that on your own and decide where you want the front and the back to be. So now where you want the back to be, I'm just going to decide that this part laying flat on the panel is going to be the back side of my sweater. So that means this knot is basically going to be at the center of this back panel. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and grab my yarn, and then I'm just going to insert my crochet hook into one of the stitches at the back and make sure my crochet hook goes underneath the elastic. Zoom in a bit. So you're going to insert your crochet hook into one of the stitches at the back. Make sure the crochet hook goes underneath the elastic, and you're going to grab your yarn, and then you're just going to pull through and make a secure knot. So with this, you're basically attaching the elastic band to the panel. I usually just go over with 2 or 3 knots just to make sure that that first stitch is actually secure to the elastic band. So now we have our elastic band attached. So you can see that the elastic band obviously is way smaller compared to the panel itself, but that's the perfect way, because obviously this is an elastic band and the stretches are long. So I am going to use a half double crochet to attach this. You can use whatever stitch, but because of the width of the elastic band, I think a half double crochet will be perfect, because if you use a single crochet, your elastic band might become visible, and I'm sure you don't want it to be. So what I'm going to do from here on, I'm just going to go underneath the stitch, and I'm going to pull through so I can have a yarn all over my crochet hook. I cannot talk today. So I'm going to yarn over and go into the next available space, and then I'm going to go underneath the elastic band, and then I just grab and make sure I have my first half double crochet. Again, I'm going to yarn over, and just the same way I'll go into the next available stitch, and then I go underneath the elastic band, grab my yarn and pull through, yarn over and pull through again. And I'm basically just going to repeat 1 half double crochet over the elastic band, and making sure I go into the panel as well, because that's how you attach the panel, the elastic band to the panels basically. And this is what I'm going to repeat all over until I get to the very beginning of the panel. Hey guys, so right here you can see that I'm actually at the very beginning where I started. I do have excess elastic band, so I'm going to just cut the center of where I did cut and make another extra knot, because it's excess. So that's the reason why you make sure you don't tie your elastic band too tight, so you can adjust this along the way. And now I'm just going to cut off this excess of the band right there. And again, because this is not something I'm making for someone, it's just for myself, I really don't pay attention to this excess band. What I do is just go over the band with half double crochet to seal everything in. So I'm just going to end off with going right there. You can see this is where we started. I'm just going to go into few more available spaces with half double crochet, so I can also go above the band and seal this off. And then when I get into that very first stitch we made at the very beginning, I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch so I can end off the row. And I usually just go into the next few stitches with slip stitch just to make sure everything is secure. And then I'm just going to chain one and then cut and sew in my loose ends. Again, you can see the elastic band is showing, but what I usually do is just sew the elastic band in, just the same way you do when you have excess yarn. We're just going to sew in the loose elastic into the stitches if you don't want it to be visible, like that. And I'm going to sew in my yarn as well. Guys, so this is the final look. I loved this top. Again, this is not the first time I'm making this, but I can tell there is a difference between the first one and the second one that I made, because with this one I can actually just wear this without the shoulders being off the shoulder, but I can also wear it off the shoulder if I decide to. I love the length of the sleeve. With the first one, the length was a little bit shorter. I kind of feel like this few differences makes so much sense instead of making the same exact one. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I definitely had fun making this and I enjoyed filming this as well. The editing, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy, but I guess I would. I'm just going to edit this video. Hopefully it can be up today or tomorrow, fingers crossed. I'm also going to light the pattern as well, so if you come across this video and the tutorial is not your type and you actually prefer pattern, I'm going to leave the pattern down below when I have the pattern edited and up on my website, on my Etsy store, sorry. But yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them down in the comments. I'll make time to answer your questions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I will always say to subscribe so you can stay connected and you can stay alert when I post whenever I post videos and whenever I post tutorials. And I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye.